Magruder in the left slot. Hill, right side, hit at the line of scrimmage, tries to keep going. Does he get in? No sit, touchdown, Midway. Oh my! That took forever.
The Midway Weekly Podcast is brought to you by Bentwood Realty, Bird Culchin Ford, Bubba's 33, and Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Now here's David Smoke.
Welcome back. It's week number 8 for Midway Panthers football and Texas high school football. It's hard to imagine, but it's week 8. There's only 11 overall weeks of the regular season, non-district and district, an off week or whatever it might be, and then the playoffs, of course, start the second week in November. Shane Anderson, head coach at Midway, joins me. I'm David Smoke on 365 Sports. So, obviously, you guys took a step back last week. You got beat up pretty good. Temple, you had the win against Hutto. You played so well at Harker Heights, and then things just kind of caught up with you. What's the mentality this week after getting beat up pretty badly, after it looked like you had turned the corner?
Well, you know, it's one of those things. It's part of the game, number one. It's part of high school football. You know, you gotta shake it off the next day, and you got to keep stepping forward. But hats off to Coach Stewart and those guys. They came to Waco and they whooped up on us and made us like it for 4 quarters. And so, we talked to the kids on Saturday about what's in front of us. All of our goals are still intact except for probably winning the district championship. And so we still got a very, very realistic chance of being a playoff football team. But it starts this week with Cove. We've got to win this one, and we've got to beat Bryan, to at least give ourselves a chance. And so, word of the week was win, and it'll be the same word next week. We've got to do everything we can between now and then, and Monday through Friday to give ourselves a chance to win the football game on Friday.
It's hard for you to score, and obviously and he's gone. He's out. He's injured. And Junior Reid back at quarterback. There are times he makes really nice throws, and there are times he doesn't have time to make any throws, and there are times he's a little erratic with throwing the football. That's part of high school football. There's not many that are perfect. What did you see from him getting back into the starting role at quarterback?
Well, I like the way he prepared. I like the way he carried himself throughout the week, and then approached, the game. And I thought he managed the game well. I thought he did what we wanted him to do. We just, we didn't do a very good job of blocking up front, and we didn't do a very good job of running the football. And, we had a couple turnovers, and then we get down there and we tempo them and move the ball, get down there, and then we kind of sputter out. And then, then we have a field goal blocked or we miss a field goal. So, it's one of those things. We got to continue to work on finishing drives. But, Reid's done everything we've asked him to do. He's working extremely hard. Like I said, I think it's just a matter of time before he finds that spark to get us over the hump.
Dom Hill was not 100% last week. You had told me that. And he takes a beating because of the style of runner that he is. What is he now? How's his health today?
He's good. He's had a great week of practice. He's probably, I would say he's as close to 100% as he could be. Last week was kind of a game-time decision with him. And then once it kind of got out of hand, we got him out of there pretty quick just to make sure we had him, for the remainder. But, Dom's a very mature kid. He's played a lot of football. He knows how to take care of his body. He does a great job of getting treatment, before and after school and during his lunch period and all of those things. And then he works extremely hard in the weight room. And so, like I said, I think he's done everything he can do as well, and we got to keep him healthy.
Tony Johnson, I spoke with him earlier this week, head coach at Copperas Cove. He's been around places, rebuilt places. You did that at Conley. He's done it at a couple other places. He's a fiery fuel, like I think he drinks 5 or 6 energy drinks a day. He doesn't. But he has that kind of energy. He's a speaker. He's a talker. What do you know about Tony Johnson?
Well, I know he's a heck of a ball coach, and he and I have grown really close over the last couple months. Him taking over at Cove, and he got in there late after we had our district meeting, and the referees had been picked and drafted for, and the district minutes had been done, and so he had called me several times. Hey, Shane, what about this? What about that? And so we've grown close, and like I said, he's doing a heck of a job down there. If you pay attention to the things that really, really matter, if you don't look at that scoreboard and you look at his numbers, I go down there on Monday to watch my son play, and of course I'm there because my son's there, but
right.
Tony's there on the sideline with those kids, those junior high kids from Cove. He's doing it the right way. I think he said he brought in 8 new guys, and so he's trying to rebuild that thing from the ground up, and they're doing a great job. And like I said, they got great numbers, and they're starting to play better football.
In the district, Temple and Harker Heights are here.
Mm-hmm.
Hutto, probably right here. You want to win against them, and that's probably where you are. Maybe Weiss, and then there's Bryan and Cove in no particular order. It's pretty obvious, and you really kind of came out of this story for the last couple of years. 2020 with Coach Human, you in 2021, you had Duncanville and DeSoto. And then, of course, Cedar Hill. Everyone kind of knew those 1, 2, and 3. Is that kind of where you are with this district? You have 3 games left. You went out, you're in the playoffs. You clinch. I mean, it's in your hands.
That's absolutely right. And that's what we talk to the kids about, and there's no better feeling than controlling your own destiny. If you went out and then you got to have somebody else beat so-and-so and then wait on somebody to, find out the score of this game and that game, that's not a good place to be. We know that if we win the next 3 ball games, we're the 3rd place team and we're in the playoffs. We know that if we win the next 2 ball games and, depending on what happens between us and Weiss, then it'll go down to Hutto and Weiss, which is the last game of the season. And so, we would like to win the next 3, obviously, and, control our own destiny. But we got to start this week with Cove, and we got to get back on track and get back to 2-2 in district.
You shared a story with me, and I've known you a long time because you were at Midway as a coordinator and assistant coach. But you and I sometimes have had some incredible talks. And you shared a story about a former player at Conley, Shelby Lee, who left his senior year to go to university. And it wasn't all that pretty the way it all went down. But you told me he went off and served the country for 3 years, and he shared a text with you. What's the story about Shelby Lee? Because this is really what coaching and athletes and relationships, wins and losses and championships is fantastic, but this is a great story.
Well, it's a pretty neat deal to see where he landed. I think he's been removed from high school for 4 years now, and so he played for us there at Conley, was in our program. His dad worked in Waco ISD. They made a decision, midway through the summer going into his senior year that he wanted to go play over there. And so, I'm the type of guy, I'm always going to respect a kid and their parents' decisions. And, I'm not going to fight it. If a kid doesn't want to be there with us, then we sign off and we send them on their way. And, he went over there and, didn't have a great senior year as far as wins and losses. We had a great year at Conley. He came back, to our Week 10 game, watched us win a district championship, and still came down there, hugged my neck, told me thank you for everything, and we've stayed in touch. And then, he went off to the military and, served, and, we stayed in touch. He called me when he got back from boot camp. Hey, Coach, we made it through boot camp because of your off season, because of what you guys taught me, what you and your staff taught me there at Conley. That's how I made it through boot camp. And so, that in itself is pretty cool.
Yep.
And, so – we stay in touch over the last couple of years, and then about a month ago, 2 months ago, right before school started and everything, he reached out and said he was going to LSU. He'd been honorable discharge, and he was going to LSU. And he was going to try to walk on, at LSU. And, of course, we know what LSU is, SEC football. I'm thinking, well, that's a great goal. Shelby, good luck, buddy. And didn't think much else about it. And then this last week he sent me a picture, and, he's earned a spot on the roster. He's earned a spot on the team, and, he's got a locker, he's got a jersey, and he's going to dress out this week for LSU. And so that's a really cool deal. It goes to show you that no matter what you go through, no matter what, your talent level, if you have goals and you have admiration that you can get things done. And so, just a tribute to him and a tribute to his parents for raising a great young man. And, like I said, just super proud of him. It's a super neat deal.
And, of course, what coaches do and influence the life, even sometimes when kids aren't always agreeing with it, and then you hear that. How are the Subvarsity teams doing, and what is the infusion for the future at Midway High School?
Well, I think our Subvarsities are playing really well. Our JV team is right there at the top of the district. I think they have one loss to Heights in district. Had a big win last week against Temple. And they're doing a really nice job. Our freshman team is kind of back and forth. They've suffered some injuries, but, they're a really, really talented group that's playing well. And then our two B teams, our freshman B and our JV B, they're both at the top of the district. So they're learning how to win football games. They're learning how to play together, and then this is, our first year to have 2 middle schools. And so
that's right.
I think it's a big time deal for us, not just in football, but in all sports, because you go from having 1 middle school with 6 or 7 coaches and 300 kids to splitting it into essentially it's 2 4A middle schools by size. And so those kids are getting plenty of reps. You're getting a lot more kids on the field. You're getting a lot more kids playing, and it'll be this case in every sport. And so, I think it's going to be a great deal that's going to pay off for us in the future as far as, developing that.
All right, one more thing. Your son plays at junior high football, and you go watch him. What's more nerve-wracking, coaching a game on a Friday night or dealing with just athletics? Or watching your son play?
It's definitely coaching on Friday night. Like I said, you put in so much time, through the weekend and throughout the week and film and preparation, and then Friday nights come together, and it's really out of your hands. There's an offensive and defensive coordinator. They're calling the offense and defense, and then you have the 16, 17-year-old kids you're asking to go out there and play. And so, I tell people all the time, I cast a vision. I set the expectations, and, I try to hold everybody to the same standard and hold everybody accountable. But on Friday nights, and really every week, it's 85, 90% out of my hands. So that's pretty nerve-wracking. As far as watching my son play, it's one of the most relaxing deals that I do every week. That's Monday night they play. And then, like I told you, the second most relaxing thing is doing the B team laundry after they play on Thursday. And then coming here and talking to you is probably my third favorite part of the week. But no, it's neat, man. I've waited for 13 years to get to watch him play and play organized and his team's doing really well. They're undefeated. They're 6-0. They've only given up 1 touchdown on the season. So, that's a special group, and it's special because he's in it, and I'm getting to watch those kids grow up together.
I know the wins and losses is what most people look at. I know what Midway football the last 2 or 3 years has struggled, but sometimes you like to hear the stories behind the scenes of Shane Anderson, coaches in general, and appreciate you sharing all that with us today. Copperas Cove, again, our broadcast on 106.7 FM The Eagle, Sikkim 365 Radio online, 7 o'clock pregame at Copperas Cove, and then also our kickoff just after 7:30. Paul Catalina, Craig Smoke will join me for that. Thanks for your time. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Appreciate you.
Shane Anderson, head football coach at Midway. This is 365 Sports.
Magruder in the left slot. Hill, right side, hit at the line of scrimmage. Tries to keep going. Does he get in? No sit. Touchdown, Midway. Oh, my. That took forever.
The Midway Weekly Podcast is brought to you by Bentwood Realty, Bird Culchin Ford, Bubba's 33, and Texas Farm Bureau Insurance.